Rust is a general term for a series of iron oxides, usually red oxides, formed by the reaction of iron and oxygen in the presence of water or air moisture. Several forms of rust are distinguishable visually and by spectroscopy, and form under different circumstances. Rust consists of hydrated iron oxides and iron oxide hydroxide. Given sufficient time, oxygen, and water, any iron mass will eventually convert entirely to rust and disintegrate. Surface rust is flaky and friable and provides no protection to the underlying iron, unlike the formation of patina on copper surfaces. The rusting of iron is an electrochemical process that begins with the transfer of electrons from iron to oxygen. The iron is the reducing agent, while the oxygen is the oxidizing agent. So what do we know? We know that rust is a series of iron oxides. It involves electron transfers between iron and oxygen. It is unidirectional and irreversible. But these facts offer little solace when considering one's own transmutation into rusty flakes. What effect does rust really have on can-based life? Does the soul rust? Can the spirit of life oxidize? Is the spark of existence tied to our tin structures, or does it reside in our diaphanous, non-metallic selves?
What are you gonna do, right? I have to wash the dishes. Can't not wash the dishes. Life's a gamble. I mean, you get up in the morning, you never know if the big R is gonna get you, or if it's gonna be some kid with a can opener and something to prove. But yeah, it sucks. It's embarrassing. I don't even date anymore. Nope. I don't go out. Where do I go? I go to the office. I go home. I go to the supermarket. Sometimes I see a movie.
I've tried everything. You name it. That stuff they advertise on the subway, where you put your hand, the strap, the sign up there. It says, tired of that rust? Dr. Rustless can help. Didn't help me. Not even a little. Charged me a lot of money, though. That's what he did. I probably put his cans through college. What's the point? As soon as I take the bag off my head, all you're gonna see is the rust. And that hole. That damn hole. It started real small, right? But it just kept getting bigger every day. Just a little bit, mind you. But every day it got a little bit bigger. It's pretty big now.
Due to the inclusion of iron alloys in the construction of can-based life forms, these structures are particularly prone to the ravages of oxidation. Some creatures, humans for example, have been successful in their attempts to completely eradicate rust from their bodies. Humans protect their metal body parts with a thick layer of a substance known as meat. This meat insulates and protects the internal iron skeletal structure from moisture. It forms what is known as a meat barrier. It is not uncommon to see wet humans completely unconcerned for the welfare of their iron skeletons, because they have the peace of mind that only comes from having a meat barrier. Attempts at creating an artificial meat product to act in this manner have thus far failed. It has been shown that the meat must either be kept cold or made animate, or will quickly begin to smell. Flies become a problem after a surprisingly brief period of time. The field of plastics holds great promise for the future. While still years away from the mass market, the idea of injection-molded replacement body parts is no longer considered science fiction. Besides the obvious and inherent rust inhibition properties of plastic, the benefits of all PVC construction are numerous. Non-magnetization, less sound wave dispersion, easy customization. Sadly, all plastic construction is beyond the reach of the average tin being. Most insurance plans consider it elective surgery rather than a preventative measure. As a result, black markets have sprung up in more populous regions, providing risky iron to PVC conversions. But these procedures are unsanctioned, dangerous, and usually end badly. Experimental techniques such as aluminization or galvanization are also not covered by most health plans. for obvious reasons. Once rust sets in, it can be difficult to control the spread. Steel wool has been effective in certain instances, but is generally unpleasant. Prevention is best. But how? Keeping a layer of oil on the surface of all metal parts has proven to be an effective barrier to moisture. It generally makes one slippery, though, and can be the cause of some social distress. A coating of varnish or paint also works, but tends to clog up moving parts, greatly hampering free movement. This is not a viable option for most. Preventing moisture is important, but towels usually add too much bulk to be comfortable or practical. The same technology used to develop all PVC construction is already implemented in the readily available plastic sandwich bag. A plastic moisture barrier is most often recommended by the Tin Council on Rust Awareness. Freedom of movement, unimpeded vision, safe, and fashionable. Usually available in the same aisle as cling wrap. The threat of rust is always present, but we must not allow that to dampen our spirit. We must be free to live our lives as we see fit. To fall in love, to raise cans of our own, to bring a little magic into the world. Because in the end, all we really have is what we mean to each other, and that doesn't rust. Because it isn't made of iron. Only iron rusts.
Thank you.